is it's going to get fucking crazy. Crazy,
Hello,
crazy.
everybody. Good morning. Good morning. The dogs are
Morning.
there. Good
How you
morning.
guys doing?
Good morning. Come on in, dog. Come on. Oi. Oh, hey, wee, doggy, doggy, doggy. Oh, the little
What?
puppy.
Yeah, I think you're having too much fun with that dog,
Okay.
man. Yeah.
All right. All right. So, me and Maurizio were just having a very quick chat about AI, and I think that AI is going to be quite a dominant part of our conversation today, because obviously here in the 100x Coin Club, we're all about the discretionary trading. So this is the place that you can have a lot of fun, other than when Bitcoin is in bearish continuation,
Ah,
chop, chop,
fucking
chop,
Bitcoin.
chop, chop, chop. It's
I
like, so
think
a
I think
simple
it's
way to think about this, right? And this is
yeah.
this is simple thinking. If you look after a big move has happened, you then have to pay a price for that big move. And we've had a big move down. And that price usually is fucking boredom, just sideways chop. So we get little relief rallies. We're back
Yep.
on, we're back on. And then they
Yeah.
get sold off. Then we get a little relief rally. We're back on. And then it gets sold off. A chop, chop. So really nothing happened this week because in my mind, what I was looking for was, okay, we've just broken down from a range. There's another range down here. We're kind of in the middle. If we get a comprehensive weekly close here, there's a good chance we could move in this upper range. If we get a comprehensive weekly close down here, there's a good, and we just stayed in the middle. And that's all we've done. So when Bitcoin's doing that, where are your opportunities? Like
Hmm.
what your opportunities are in YF10 with market neutral systems. That's where
Hmm.
your opportunities are. There's people in YF10 that are on this call as well, like that have posted that they've had you know, 50% returns or more on trades that they're doing that they did yesterday when there's not even a list for YF10. They just kind of figured out their own list and they were happy to go with it.
Mm.
That's great. But people that don't want to do that can just trade the system mechanically. And the people that really win at this are the people that go, you know what? I'm just an average dickhead. I don't really know much, but I tell you what I can do. I can turn up every day and just execute. That's it.
Mm.
I'm done. I'm the one that's got all day free to do nothing, you know? The other guy over there, he's the one talking about the bullish flip flop with the scissors and the line and the skibdy fan. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You enjoy your RSI, mate, you know? So different market conditions call for different things. So what gets the market moving again? Well, fucking exciting stuff gets the market moving again.
Yeah.
Because
That's what I'm
my
gonna talk about.
my
Yeah,
my
that's
dream of AI is I turn up to the computer and I go, "Hey I got 100 grand. Fuck off and do the best thing with it, and don't come back till you've made me a million." Bzz.
and Ian, um, fuck, we're close to it. However, you have to bear in mind that a lot of people think like you, including me. All right. And it's going to get to a point that AI is going to fight with other AIs. It's just mind blowing what's going on in the world at the moment. I'm gonna touch a little bit, because I think as a discretionary traders, I think there could be interesting opportunities right now, but they're risky. But they're right now, like in terms of of the whole crypto AI world and shit like that. I'm gonna give you one that I've been researching, and obviously I missed it over the weekend when but I will go into it, but then I'll give you the backstory and you'll understand why it could be a really interesting opportunity. Okay, so but then very nice. It's risky, so there's a bunch of shit that is going on at the moment that a lot of things are risky, but we know crypto is about narratives, crypto is about attention, crypto is about excitement, crypto is about everybody says, oh fuck, this is going on to the moon. All right. And I think the token that I'm gonna share with you guys, I've been doing a lot of research. I think it has a lot of fucking potential. So let's see, man. So AI trading, man. Yeah, I've been doing that. I've been doing it. It is tough. You know, you have to understand one thing. you have to understand algorithmic trading and you have to understand AI. They're two fucking different things in a way. All right. Algorithmic trading is algos that I developed that quant or something, and you can run that with a script, and you don't need AI to. So there is a lot of confusion in the world around AI and AI trading and algorithmic trading. A lot of people think the algorithmic trading is AI trading, and in my view, it's not. So I'm gonna give you my view only. All right, this AI. When I talk about AI, is autonomous thinking. Is when you start seeing a brain behind, and let's say you have five systems, and the AI decides by itself which one to trade. That's fucking AI trading, in my view. Everything else is automated trading, is algorithmic trading, trend trading. FinRev works on a algorithmic stuff designed by quants. So we are getting to the level of AI trading, but real fucking AI trading, not Marlon, institutions may use AI. This is the thing. You guys have to, like any single concept that you're actually looking online, you have to understand what's AI. What's that mean? You know what I mean? And institutions may use AI, yes, to gather info, data, analyze data easier, so that makes decisions, right? But is AI ready for trading? I think we're getting closer. In my view, it's not there yet. There is a few AI projects going on, like real AI project making decisions, and I can probably expand on that because I've been doing a lot of research on that and I play with it, right? Because obviously that's something that excites me. So anyway, let's start. Let's go through the market, and then I'll give you what I'm working on and things that could be really exciting this week, perhaps. So, all right, let's start with Bitcoin. So, how do you guys feel about Bitcoin? Let's. Am I sharing the screen?
Not yet.
All right. Okay. There you go.
There we can see you.
Now I'm sharing screen. All right. So where we at? Where we at in terms of market, right? So, essentially, of the weekend, this was on Friday. This sort of retracement was on Friday, but we're still operating below the market structure and the bearish sort of structure, right? We haven't been able to break this high right here, which is 72. I think once we break it, then opens up the window for the next level up. You know, that's what I'm seeing at the moment, and that's what a lot of traders are doing, like looking for levels, right? Because if you start catching the bottom, right, like you don't know what the bottom is going to be. You don't know if the bottom is going to be at 60. I did talk that we still, like on Friday, I'm still aiming to at some point we're gonna retest the 60 level. So we are in the process of finding that range, right? So and if we talk about what is finding a range look like in terms of psychology, what do you guys think? Like, give me your thoughts in terms of what are your thoughts in terms of finding a range? What does that actually means? Or you have no idea what that means when I talk about like finding a range?
The word
Which
the
is
word equilibrium pops into my head. Unresolved equilibrium between two previously decided price markers.
yes, okay. So there's Edward obviously does a few technical terms. Value area high, value area low. A lot of people might not understand that. Seeing what an asset has been trading will go down more, I think. Claim. All right. So, in my view, always think about what buyers and what sellers could do, right? And who is interested in the market. And essentially, that's what a range could look like, right? Who is interested in buying and at what price? And the range high is who is interested in selling and at what price. As simple as that, right? Like if you think about it from the psychological perspective and you start to figure out, all right, are more sellers here or are more buyers here? So usually a range, right? When we hit the low of a range is when the buyers pile in. Why? Because people think that that could be a good bottom or a good range to buy with a really good risk reward. That's what buyers do. What sellers will do, they will do the opposite, right? They'll sell at a given resistance level or at a given area, right? That's it. Okay, that's how a range develops. After the range develops, there is a lot of fucking around on that range, and then the range breaks to either direction, breaks to the upside or breaks to the downside. So when it breaks to either direction, the same psychologically applies, right? People that short it starts getting, let's say that the range breaks to the upside. So people that actually are bearish on Bitcoin, that think that fucking Bitcoin is going to go to zero or whatever, right? They start either closing their positions or they being forced to close their position. Therefore, the market starts going upwards, right? And that creates more buyers. That creates the FOMO. That creates people, oh, fuck, this is going to the moon and I need to buy. And that's what the market dynamics look like, right? The bearish side is a little bit different, though. It's not the same psychology in a way, because when you start, let's say, let me delete all this crap, man. 1 second. So we get a clear view of the weekly, and then we'll. All right. So we know that our immediate sort of level right now is this low right here, right? That's our immediate level. Now, are we going to hit that level or are we going to keep going? So in terms of bearish structure, right? People that actually buy around this level, they're willing to risk a small amount of money in order to get a huge reward, okay? So your invalidation becomes narrow. So what happens usually, is that when a lot of bears piles up on this level, then it's going to push the market down. And from the bearish perspective, right, this is going to hit a lot of stop losses, right? Stop losses, liquidations, borrows. And then the market could actually do this until a big buyer comes in and says, fuck, I'm holding the price, right? That's basically market's dynamic, all right? So the first thing is going to be ranging, right? So from your perspective, is the range already established or the range is just forming? Sean, I agree. I agree, Todd. So the range is just forming. There is no clear level of a range yet. You know what I mean? It's not. So my next play could be range bottom. So what are the most sort of commonalities or what is the more common areas that a range could form? Usually it forms on lower lows, right? So when we can probably do a class in market structure, man. I think if you master market structure, that's the only thing you need in order to actually do big plays. So right now, market structure tell us that we're still bearish, right? Market structure will start breaking around here, and we'll start breaking around here, right? That's the market structure on the daily, right? So we need to look what the time frames would look like, right? So this is just to say, yes, I agree with you guys. It's still forming, so I'm not willing to bet big on big things. I could just play a small range. So my next level for a small range could be this one here, 64,000. But what I'm seeing here is that there is some front running of this level here towards the downside. Do you guys see this? Now, let me flip this chart. Always flip the chart. Let's flip it.
We're going
Ready?
inverted, Mav.
We're going inverted. What do you guys see here? This is a trend.
Quite
right?
clearly.
Quite clearly. And people are front running this level, right? So there's a lot of sellers. I can see there is a lot of sellers around here. right? So probably we're going a little bit lower, right? Towards this level here. Is this level strong enough to hold? I don't think so. We're going now. We'll expand using CVD and open interest and all that crap, and we're just trying to make a thesis, right? So that's where I'm at, right? Range is forming. I have no idea what the fuck is going to happen. So I'm just staying cool, and if you do any trade, you have to have in mind that you still have these big ranges that are playing. So if you want to play on the ranges, man, I think that's a really good play for scalping trades, right? Especially on this market. So that's the first thing, right? Now if we let's look it up from the weekly. So let's start top down, and then we'll see what's going on from the weekly. But the daily already gives me the sort of picture where we're heading. So I wish it was a button to delete all these little thingies. Anyway, all right, let's go weekly. Okay, weekly, where are we at? So obviously, the interesting thing about this week is that we holding this level. This level is a cluster of a lot of fucking around that happened and we talked about it last week. There was this range that was formed for a whole year. I think this is developing, to be honest. This is just a discretionary thought. Okay, this is not data driven or anything like that, but I think we could actually see something like this unless something magical happens. But this could be like a range, so the high of the range could be around 78,000. So that could be, if let's say I'm going long and start seeing breaking levels, then 78 will be my first take profit, or I'll be willing to start shorting on 78 levels from the high time perspective, right? So man, that's where I'm at the moment, right? From the weekly, what do you guys see from the weekly? Do you see anything like, are you willing to buy? Is this the opportunity of the lifetime to buy Bitcoin at these levels? Do you see a lot of buyers piling up? Give me your thoughts. Sean, may I ask you what bounce? What is a bounce means for you?
That's very good, Maurizio, because I was going to chip in and say what I see is a downside rally that kept going until it found liquidation. So it
Yeah,
wasn't a rally where people stepped in and they were like, fuck, here's an opportunity. It was a downside rally that was like, oh man, I got nothing to hold on to. Is anybody going to buy me? Is anybody going to buy? Or somebody's bought me.
yep.
And then we had not really much follow through with that buying.
All right. Yeah, exactly. And sorry, Sean, if I ask, I will just curious, how do you confirm oversold? How do you know something is an oversold level?
Did you ask that directly to me, Maurizio? Sorry.
No, no, to Sean.
Oh,
To
to Sean,
Sean.
right, right.
Sean put in the chat, confirm bounce of one year support, confirm oversold. So I'm just curious to get your thoughts and how do you confirm
That's
oversold? There
interesting.
you go. This is important, John, and this is something that I always ask myself, right? Because you always hear all this shit on the on the internet. It's oversold, overbought. A lot of people use the RSI to gauge that. So obviously, have that in mind, right? And I'm sorry if I'm just speaking on you, Mike, but that's important for you to always ask yourself, okay, what does this mean? What does oversold means? And if you do have if you do have an answer, use it. If you do not have an answer, find it, and if you can able to find it, don't use it. Get it out of your system. You know what I mean? I never use an oversold and overbought. Why? Because I have no fucking clue. I'm serious. If I use RSI, and if RSI always wouldn't give you the idea of, there are times for the RSI And I think RSI could work really well on ages, but I need to explain what's the mechanics of the RSI if you use the RSI to confirm. But a lot of people also use the stochastic to determine oversold levels. So there's a lot of different options, right? Anyway, sorry, man. But then, just not picking on you, just willing to ask, right? So what I'm seeing here is basically I'm seeing from the weekly perspective, this is kind of what I want to see. I want to see a little bit of fucking around. And once I see the fucking around happening, right? The problem is that a lot of people, or maybe me, I'm gonna get excited if this starts coming back up here. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to get excited. I'm going to try to start buying because I think, but then bear in mind that we still have this bearish structure on the weekly. So in order to bring like to get back into the weekly uptrend, give or take, or even range, I think we need to close a week above this level here, above the 80,000. Is that going to happen? Who knows? You know what I mean? Who knows? But that's basically what I want to see in order to start seeing that sort of rally coming through. Also, bear in mind, I do pay close attention to the daily EMA, and this is the daily EMA, and then we are really far away from the daily EMA. So there are opportunities for mean reversion. So any opportunities for mean reversion trades, which are those bounces, right? Then bear in mind that it's just scalping opportunities. We're not trending yet. We're not having this. I just want to see how a trending market would looks like. You start seeing wicks closing above, bam, 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 and we're far fucking away from it. And like, this, in order for us to have that, this EMA, where's my pen? This EMA needs to do something like this, which is going to take, I'm talking wicks here, all right? This is the weekly, right? And then the price needs to go above here, and then probably fuck around, then the EMA turns, and then this does this, and then bang, and then that's when we actually try to get position on those big moves, right? So this is just to say that it might take time to see the price develop like this. I'm talking about weeks. See what I mean here? Yeah, possibly by April, see some nice run. Maybe, who knows? Depends of so don't get caught up in by times because you don't know if it could be tomorrow. Could be tomorrow that you see Trump doing a big buy of Bitcoin. I'm just making it up, right? And then market moves, change the structure, and then tomorrow we see this. You know what I mean? So don't think about time because honestly, I have no idea. It could be tomorrow, could be Friday, could be on April, could be April next year, or could be April in 2 years, right? So that's what I'm trying to always read from the market, where it's at, not forcing, because if you think this in April and then you start seeing a rally on April, right? And then you get capped there, maybe the April is going to give you a short entry that we were looking for to actually go all the way down to 50. Can that happen? Of course, right? So yeah, all right. So that's kind of where I am. Obviously, sorry for the long sort of narrative, but I just want to highlight where we are from the high time frames, and then if we move it to the daily, there we're still short. But I'm looking at these small breaks, perhaps to get some small longs towards the 80 side of things. That could be an interesting play. Or, right, if I start seeing weakness here, I think that could be an interesting short towards either this is the first level, right, or towards the 60 level. But I'm preempting. Remember, if we enter short here, I'm preempting that I know what the range looks like, and I'm not. So obviously, if you do that, then keep your risk low, right? So because you could be wrong, right? And I could be wrong. So that's where I'm at the moment. So that's why I tend not to do much. Otherwise, yeah. So what I'm waiting for is if we get another test to the 60K, right? Is that level going to hold? If it does, I'll buy. Okay, that's kind of what I'm waiting for. Am I going to get 60K? Maybe not. But if I do, that's what I'll be looking for. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on Bitcoin. If I give me 1 second. Where is my give me 1 second. Let me just bring up the open interest and stuff like that. Give me 1 second. Where is it? Right here. Just move. I had it in a different screen. So let's just share again. You see my screen now? So if let's go now to the open interest to see what's the behavior, who's driving the market, right? On Friday, like last week, I was saying that obviously we see a lot of weakness around CVD buying, and this is getting weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. There's no strength whatsoever on the spot side of things. So more than likely, this price action was basically leverage trading, and you can actually see that people getting liquidated or being forced to exit their shorts at this level. That's why the market move up. And now we might see people looking to get the longs out. So it's some liquidations here to the long side. So people thought about, oh, this is going to the moon again. Now, probably today we're going to go a little bit down. How far? Who knows? But I think weakness is on the table, right? I don't see any strength. I don't see any strength on Bitcoin. I don't see any strength on Ethereum, right? I see a little bit of buying here, but not hugely amount of buying. I don't see a lot of stuff on Solana. It's picking up now, but it's nothing like, all right, this is the level to buy right now. But yeah, this is all driven by perps, by leverage trading, right? So a lot of people went long here, and then now we start getting liquidated, right? So that's kind of where I'm at the moment. So you can play the range perhaps, but then, yeah, I'm just waiting to see those two scenarios. If I hit this, what's going to happen here? Our buyers are going to step in. If I see buyers stepping in, I'll definitely start buying at this level, right? If not, then my next level will be 52, give it a take 53 to start buying. All right. So that's kind of in essence, that's it. That's what we're seeing, right? So obviously Friday was exciting, Saturday a little bit, but then Sunday was pretty crap. So what's going to happen over the weekend? Over the week, who knows? In terms of IBIT, so paying very close attention to IBIT. So obviously I need to wait for the New Year session to see what IBIT does. But if IBIT starts sort of breaking that structure, then that gives me a little bit more confidence that people are buying through the ETFs and things like that. And that could provide us with a little bit of local support, and I'll be a little bit more confident to start buying, right? I'm paying close attention to S&P 500, what it's doing. So it's not doing much, right? Obviously, S&P 500 is, pretty much in the middle of the range, but it's forming this range. It's not able to actually get new all-time highs. Are we going to get all new all-time highs? Who knows? But if we do, then that will be a support for Bitcoin and stuff like that, right? The Russell, which I did explain a while back, is just pretty much doing the same thing. And the Russell is basically just how people are willing to put more risk into the stock. So if you see the Russell rising, there's more risk in the market. Like people are more willing to put more money in risky assets. So I don't see nothing, man. So technically, there's nothing for me to say. Oh, you know what I mean? Like this is going to be an interesting level to buy. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at in terms of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the big caps. So Todd, thank you. Yeah, Monday's President Day in the US market is going to be closed, so I guess we're done. Probably true. Probably, yeah, or probably not. Probably low liquidity is it could take more shorts to the upside, and then when market opens on, so that could be the opposite as well. So the fact that it's low liquidity, and well, London is open, Asia is open, so we're open, so yeah, always have I always look both sides of the story, right? So yeah. So, guys, I think so far just gonna wait for my levels to hit. So, summary: if we hit the 60,000, I'll be willing to buy, or if we start breaking above the 71 or 72, right, like that, I might buy, targeting the next level up, which is gonna be around 80,000, give or take, right? So that could be an interesting play if you do like a small sort of trade. Um, so yeah, that's it, man.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
any questions before we move on to the really risky shit?
I got a question, Maurizio.
Uh-huh.
Here's a couple of things for you to get your teeth into. Right? The first thing is I'll say all things and then you can think. So the first thing is cash is a position.
Yes.
And I think that's something that maybe is not always clear to people. It certainly wasn't clear to me at first. Like when I had dry powder, I was itching to spend it.
Yes.
But cash itself is a position. So I'll let you talk about that in a second. And then the other thing is when we look at the Bitcoin chart here, what might be fun is let's see if we can get some human beings in our head when we look at this chart and say, right, who is trapped at the moment? Who is feeling the discomfort? Who's holding Bitcoin going, I fucking bought this bastard at 100 and fucking five, right? So things that have happened, events that have happened with Bitcoin, i.e. the fear and greed that we're seeing on the chart, it's human beings making these decisions. So I thought that might be fun to explore. Who right now is holding Bitcoin and they're thinking, or where did they come from is what I'm asking more than who is holding, So the people that bought on the bounce or whatever, they FOMO'd in here on the bounce at the top, you know, those people are probably trapped underwater thinking, I hate this game. I'm sorry, love. No honeymoon. No, no honeymoon. I thought that might be fun to explore.
Hmm. Exactly. No, that's you're definitely right, Ian. What you want to do in a way, cash is king. Okay, that's why, like, we do have some positions on the spot portfolio, but that's why I get out of pretty much everything, even at a loss, man. And then we are pretty much 80%. I think in the main portfolio, I think we are 80% cash. Why? Because cash, you need the cash to buy when things are really, really bad, man. That's when you need your cash for. If you don't have cash on those opportunities, you will not be able to buy anything. If you start buying just because of it, right? That's when that's how Warren Buffett made this money, man. That's when the biggest investors, make they waited for the right moment, and when the right moment comes, but you need to learn to identify the right moments. Do I know 100% what the right moments are? No, not really. I have an idea because I have some experience on I've lived through fucking crypto for the last, I don't know, 5 years, 6 years already. So I know what could happen, right? So,
Sorry, just to interject there, that's such an interesting thing that you use Warren Buffett because I think it's my opinion that the general kind of when people think of Warren Buffett, they think of this fucking daredevil maverick. But in reality, this is a dude that fucking sits down every single day, researches an opportunity, and he says, I tell you what, I know Nike are one of the biggest fucking companies in the world, but I tell you what, I don't fancy it. Move them along. Oh, look, I can buy some shares in the post office. Well, that's nice, isn't it? And then he makes a trade about once every 2 years or something, every 3 years or
mm,
something. Like what that man has done is he's monetized boredom. because
Exactly.
a lot of what we do is about being comfortable with yourself when it's boring, and it is fucking boring. And
And the
Like Mauricio
problem,
says, you got to be like this, but
the
without
prob
being an anxiety monster.
the problem with us, okay, or with people is obviously crypto, perhaps it might be your way out of financial freedom or right. And unfortunately, as human beings, we want the financial freedom to happen now. You know what I mean? And every opportunity you will see, you will take it. So that's why being a trader is hard, man. That's why markets are hard. That's why, it's not a easy thing to do. Otherwise, obviously, unfortunately, if you were in crypto 6 years ago when things were fucking nuts, like you could just you put $100 in whatever project, you can actually see everything just went to the moon, right? But a lot of people didn't cash out. Yeah, including me. Okay, I'm not. I didn't catch out at the time that I should have cashed out, and that happens, right? So anyway, so that's a good point, Ian. And if you do want to measure how cash is flowing, I did say about the USDT dominance and the USDC dominance. So if you follow what the cash is doing, I mean, right? So right now the cash, like a lot of people is in cash, right? Why? Because everybody's waiting for the opportunity. So when you start seeing, the dominance breaking a structure, right? That's when you see, okay, maybe people start getting into it. So this is another cash measurement that you can actually do to support what you mentioned, Ian, and a lot of people's in cash. And if this keeps growing, what that means is people are selling their assets and remaining on cash, right? And it's nothing wrong to do it. Like think about it from the psychological perspective of Bitcoin. Let's assume, let me just hide everything just for to make this point clear. Idle drones. Okay. All right. Let's assume that you thought that this was the bottom, right? And 84,000. Okay. And you bought here and you're still holding. Okay. And this is you're holding and you're down. You're down 18% on Bitcoin and you went down 30%, right? Now, if you if you if you put all your money there and Bitcoin keeps going down to 40 to 35 to 30 to 25, then you're gonna see your portfolio drain and drain and drain and drain. And then psychologically, what will happen is probably when Bitcoin reaches to 40K, you sold, but then you sold at a loss, right? And this thing never come back, right? So it's nothing wrong with selling at a loss right here. Let's say at 76, yeah, you lost 10%, fuck it, whatever. But you're in cash. And then you basically keep going in markets. This is part of the game. If you get an opportunity to get a 40 and then you see that the trend starts showing at 40, then you rebuy back. You know what I mean? You have your brain power, you have your capacity to rebuy back. So obviously this is one of the hardest thing and is to basically sell at a loss. You know what I mean? Because with crypto, yeah, it's always going to come back. But then while it comes back, you out of cash and you might not be able to get those opportunities in. You know what I mean? So that's something in terms of mindset that has helped me out a little bit. Yeah. It was tough to make the decision. Probably we did the decision like 7 months ago that we sold everything and we're in cash 80%. You know what I mean? Because and that was the right decision, right? That was the right decision at the time. So yeah. Okay, so let's jump into the fun stuff. So don't know if you guys I'm going to talk about a little bit about AI, right? Because I think AI is taking the world by storm, and there's a lot of stuff. I don't know if you guys are in Twitter or follow AI news and stuff like that. It's the new release of new platforms in the market. You have OpenClaw, you have Now, the interesting thing is you have now a more agentic platforms that it will do a lot of the work for you, right? You get now in Super Bowl, you get the launch of AI.com. No, yeah, AI.com. I think that's being powered by Crypto.com, right? And that's a full agentic platform that is going to do a lot of the work that humans do technically, right? Even trading at some point, even analysis, even whatever. So AI is going to evolve dramatically, right? So I'm paying close attention to a few projects that I think they're going to benefit more than Bitcoin, more than anything, because they are infrastructure, AI infrastructure stuff that all these new platforms are using. And now a lot of people with the release that OpenClaw, I don't know if you guys have not heard about the OpenClaw platform or AI.com platform. There's been in the last 3 weeks, it's been like 7 or 8 new releases of different platforms that allow you to do the same thing. And the interesting thing is a lot of people are looking for privacy. Okay, privacy. A lot of people are fucking buying their Mac Minis to get their OpenClaw installed on their own machines. There's a lot of different stuff going on in terms of privacy, in terms of AI, who controls the model. Obviously, this is a lot of technicalities here, but then if you don't understand AI, ask me questions, and I'm not an expert, but I've been spending a lot of time for the past year understanding AI and doing different things with it. So with that being said, I'm putting together a list of interesting projects that I think it could go really well. So the first thing, obviously, is our spaghetti charts. So I'm seeing fucking Pippin went 200% in the last 7 days. Obviously, Pippin is very scammy. There's a lot of control. So what I'm looking for is projects that it has longevity in a way, right? The real projects, real stuff that it could actually, convert long term. Pippin, you can trade it probably, short term and do well, but I'm not sure the longevity of that. So that's what I'm trying to find, and I found a few interesting things. Okay. And I keep researching, by the way. So this is just the beginning because I started the research last week, and unfortunately, I didn't go in when I should have. But I think we still have opportunities in different stuff. So let's start with Tau. So Tau has been bleeding quite a bit, right? But I know the infrastructure that Tau is actually putting together in terms of AI, agentic workflows and things like that is pretty interesting. So the fact that over the weekend, right, we had Friday, the price action is actually matching with my thesis, okay? And that's what I'm trying to see, because I see a lot of things happening in the world, but that doesn't mean that the price action is going to go with that. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at Tau, and by the way, this is things that I might start buying spot. Why? Because if we see another dump of Bitcoin, bear in mind that doesn't matter what beautiful project it is on crypto, everything is so freaking correlated with Bitcoin that all projects are going to be affected in a way, right? So that's kind of what. Yeah, Clayton, I think I'm gonna explain for people that don't know what that does, and I see it as a huge potential. That's my biggest one, and I think I'm gonna call it today in the 100x club, but bear in mind that I'm going to do a spot, right? And there's opportunities for it. All right, let me get back to this. So Tau is one of the first ones. Renda, they do a lot of GPU rendering, and now all AI needs GPU in order to run models. So this one could be an interesting one as well. If this one has continuation, I think this one could do really, really well. Okay. Virtual, being the best sort of AI agent platform launch, is still very attractive. So I'm still attracted to this one. But this one is, man, and I missed it completely here. I bought some just for what I'm going to tell you. So, but I think this one could have a lot of continuity. All right. So VVV is Venice AI, okay? And Venice AI is a company that put all their models in their decentralized infrastructure, okay? And a lot of people that are using all these agentic platforms, they need to pay for tokens. So let's say OpenClaw or there's another one called Morpheus, but they need to pay for their tokens, right? So they need to pay Anthropic, or they need to pay OpenAI, or they need to pay Gemini, or they need to pay in order to use their AI models, okay? So they are free in the world. They are something that's called local models, and local models is something that you can actually, if you have the infrastructure and the hardware, you can actually install in your computer, and that model actually works on your computer, and you don't pay for anything, right? Technically. So Venice essentially runs really high-end models, free models, right, that you can actually use and exchange for tokens. Okay, so if you buy VVV, right, and you buy on the spot and you stake it, you can actually, they give you usage. So they give you usage, right, that you can use either with your OpenClaw, with your any other agentic platform. They can actually use Claude Code as well. They can, yeah, and also if you stake that, then obviously you're going to get usage tokens, you're going to get airdrops, and you're going to get anything what this company could be worth in the future. But you're getting the usage. So if you're using AI, and if you're using OpenClaw, or if you're using any other agentic platform, I'll strongly suggest that you guys have a look at Venice AI, because it could. And unfortunately, I was watching it closely, and this happened over the weekend, of course. Well, it was over the weekend, but this is an interesting proposition, right? It could be risky. Yes, this could go to zero. Yes, but the fact that it has different narratives coming through, you have the OpenClaw narrative, you have the AI narrative, you have the agentic narrative, you have the crypto narrative, and you have a project that actually does something with it. I think it could be good. It could be an interesting proposition, and at this one, an all-time highs all the way to $19. So there is an interesting proposition in terms of valuation. Things are, if you buy your tokens and stake it more than $8 or $10, I think it's cheaper to go with Anthropic. So that's where the opportunity lies at the moment, right? That at this price, at $4, is still cheaper to actually go with Venice than with Anthropic. However, Venice is not as good AI models as Anthropic. That's the main difference. Okay, so yeah, this is the one that I'm. Hold on one sec. All right, House of Cool. Okay, now I'm looking at Kite as well. So Kite is another AI project as well. I'm just starting the research on this one. I cannot give you a lot of information. Another one that I really like, that is really like, I've been tracking these guys for a while. It's called ATH, and these are the ones that. This is a very risky one, by the way, right? And I'm not sure yet, but these ones are doing real market infrastructure fund for let's call it ETFs. Like if this is going to be an ETF that allows you to invest on AI infrastructure through ATH in a way, right? So the fact that it's been so beaten down, right? And the fact that but it's still alive, I'm going to start monitoring this one closely. And if we start seeing a lot of AI going through, I think I'm willing to take a punt on this one, right? Because that could be this one could take long term, by the way. This might not go quickly, but when the narrative flourishes, right? And then you're gonna start seeing all these projects that are doing interesting things in the AI world. So this is my list that I'm watching. The one that I really want to buy is VVV, and I already bought it, by the way, because I'm using the tokens, right? But then I think from the investment perspective, I think now that AI is it's just nuts, whatever is happening. And if you guys haven't, yeah, I think the launch was on the Super Bowl that there was the AI.com, I think. I don't know if I didn't watch the Super Bowl or anything like that. Yeah, AI.com. And this is a platform that actually is going to be launched soon and is going to be doing something very similar to what OpenFlow does, but to the public, to the non-technical people, right? So yeah, that's where I'm at, guys. So it's even though crypto looks like shit, I think there could be interesting opportunities now in the AI world, right? But bear in mind, very hard to do with leverage because if we do get that dump, right, on Bitcoin, if we do get that dump all the way down to 60 and 50, all these projects are going to get affected, right? How far? Who knows? But that could be more buying opportunity. So I'm big on VVV at the moment, but I'm biased, right? Why I'm biased? Because I'm using it. All right. So just have that in mind. Okay. But just the fact that I'm seeing that price action actually confirms my thesis. So yeah, I think that's it, man. That's all I have for you guys. So don't know if you guys have any questions, but I'm excited. I'm excited. Of what's going on in the AI world at the moment. Yeah, very excited, man.
Oh, just kicked the dog. Yeah, yeah, me too, man. Me too. It's a great time to be alive, isn't it?
I know, man. I know. Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. A lot of interesting things happening right now with AI, man. A lot of developments. So yeah, yeah, guys. So probably stay cool. Don't go too crazy on buying stuff. There's gonna be a lot of opportunities when the market picks up.
Mm, mm. That's it, because I mean, really, for the discretionary stuff, we've either got a front run or we need some really clear evidence of direction. And we don't have
Correct.
either of that at the moment, you know. So the pairs trading, which is season two of YF10K, you know, that's another market neutral system. And yeah, people are finding trades with that in the season two. So there is still ways to trade, but it's what edge have you got? And do conditions align with your edge? So a market neutral system, well, part of the edges is that you don't have to worry about um, what Bitcoin is doing per se. So brilliant. That was a really great call, Maurizio. Thank you so much. Looking forward to the updates in the group. Looking forward to seeing you around the bazaars. Have a
All
great
right,
week,
guys.
everybody.
Have a
Ta-da.
good week. I'll see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.